So not much to complain about there. Hey everyone, welcome to Spurs, and I guess you all probably know the result by now anyway. Tottenham 4, Palace 0. I mean, that was a good result. It was a good game actually. In fact, it was an enjoyable game, which is not something I often feel myself saying about Spurs, but that was an enjoyable game to watch as a Spurs fan. I mean, we win, we've got plenty of wins under our belt, maybe not so much recently, but like even when we do win, it's not always enjoyable to watch. But that was a different game. It felt different from the get-go, which is one of the main points about today's game, is that we started so strong, so quickly. And that was a huge difference for us. 4-0 at half-time. What more do you want? You've already effectively put the game to bed. Whether you score another 4 or not in the second half, it doesn't matter. We were always going to fall back a bit and, just defend the lead at that point. But it doesn't matter. The game's done. You've already controlled the game enough and got enough of a gap between you and them to make sure that the next 45 minutes are doable, even under intense pressure. We didn't really have that, to be honest, but there wasn't really that much pressure coming in the second half, and we probably could have got a couple more. But it's irrelevant. That first half was the entire game. And that's not something that Spurs do that often. We tend to win games late on, usually in the last few minutes sometimes, and they're the ones that are difficult to watch because you're waiting for the game to be over and for the goal to come. Today's one, exact opposite. Straight out the door, made an impact, got the first goal. Then within the next 30 minutes, 3 more on the back of it. Son, what can you say about this guy? Everyone loves to talk about Kane so much and stuff, but Son for me is just another level. I genuinely love that guy. So he was definitely the man of the match in my opinion. But overall, the whole team played pretty well actually. There wasn't really anyone who you'd think that wasn't good, or we could have. That was a decent team performance. Second half, we were under a bit more stress, if you like, and they came close a couple of times, but nothing came of it. We came close a couple of times to scoring a few more, but nothing came of that either. Again, it was very much a game that was decided in the first half, and the second half was more a formality, really, on both sides, to be honest. But Son was just another level for me. I really can't rate that guy high enough. And the only thing that would have made it a little bit better is if he'd got his hat-trick. That would have been a nice touch. Lamella on the score sheet, he's another one who's a bit contentious with our fan base. I don't mind Lamella. When he came in, it looked like he might do well for the team, but obviously injury ended that and pretty much ruled him out of the team for a long, long time. But I don't mind him. He's not like a fantastic player or anything, and there are better players out there we could have, but he does bring a quality to the team sometimes, and it's a bit of a hard little fucker as well. So that's a good thing to have sometimes. And I don't mind him. And today he had a good game, I thought. A couple of stray passes where could have scored, but overall it was a good game. And what about Serge? He was the big talking point before the game. Everyone, after his recent comments, and then everyone couldn't believe we were playing him, but wasn't a huge amount of choice there. But again, he had a good game. The problem with Serge has always been the consistency. He can have a good game. He's a good player. Whether he can have consecutive good games consistently is another issue. And that's the one thing that we don't know about him, really. Partly because he hasn't been given that opportunity. And partly because he tends to follow up good games with not so good games. But again, there's not like a wealth of data to make that assumption on. All we do know is that today he was good. If he starts again soon, we'll see if he's good again. But today he was good. Everyone was good. It was a good all-round game. Toby as well. Like I know everyone loves Toby. I'm not like a massive Toby fan. I don't dislike the player at all. He's a very good player. I'm just not as in love with him as some of our fan base are. But today he was excellent, especially the first half and the first half of the first half. He was just firing balls all over the place. Really good forward movement from Toby, and that was a big part of our opening play. You know, we got off to a flying start in that game, and a lot of that came back to Toby. So although I don't love the guy as much as everyone else, he deserves the credit for his contribution today, and certainly in the early parts of the game. But like I said, everyone kind of played well today. It was a all-round decent performance from the team. If there was any, I really can't think of anyone who deserves any real kind of criticism. I mean, Eriksen, with that last free kick, that was atrocious. And the free kick before that wasn't much better either, to be honest. But the last free kick was miles away. But even Eriksen was okay, some good passing, and the whole team played pretty well. And legitimately, it was just an enjoyable game to watch. And as a Spurs fan, enjoyable games don't come often enough, at least not in my opinion. I enjoy quite a few games after the fact. You know, once the points are there or once we're through to the next round, then I can sit back and enjoy the game. But I don't often enjoy a game in real time. But today I did. And I used to live at Palace for a couple of years actually, so I quite like Palace, to be honest. Got nothing against them there. I quite like the area and know a lot of Palace fans really. So fortunate for them, but whatever, innit? Alright, so busy period now really. A couple of busy games coming up this next couple of weeks, so it's going to be fun and should get some more videos out. So until the next one, come on you Spurs.